To 108 gate, where we're going to be looking at the divine masculine reading, and before that we're going to be looking at inviting in some supportive energies from the Root Chakra Tuning fork. Deep breath. So I'll do 3 of these, then the reading, and then 3 of these to close up the reading. If you do not want to hear the frequency for the root chakra, you can put the volume down, and then when I pick up these cards you'll know that I'm moving on to the reading. So for those of you who do want to hear the root chakra tuning fork, let's go. Ready? Enjoy. Here we go. So along with that, a quick look at the astrology. So Sun is at 28 degrees Capricorn, Pluto 29 degrees Capricorn, so they're both in the last decan of Capricorn. So that intensity of the Sun illuminating aspects of Pluto is kind of it's a sweet energy in that it feels like it's been passing Pluto so many times over how many years, many years, and now it's ushering Pluto over to Aquarius. It's almost like it's giving its blessing, it's giving its well done kind of thing, a nod as it's going past. If it's that or not, it depends on how you respond, because we have currently Mercury is also there at 6 degrees, and Mars is there at 11 degrees of Capricorn. So it definitely is about how are you thinking about things, how are you perceiving things, how are you communicating to yourself and others about things. So a beautiful start to that. Gratitude, bringing in gratitude, having some gratitude about where you have been, and even the things that have not seemed so great. The gratitude of having now been able to come to a point where you can look back at it out of those situations that weren't so enticing, shall we say. So allowing yourself to feel the gratitude of staying to the journey, staying on the journey, being on the journey. And I know it's a struggle for some of us, and I know it's a struggle for or certain times have been more of a struggle than others, but there's certain persistence that keeps going. And even when it's difficult and we may be complaining or moaning or whatever it is, kind of feeling a bit defeated at times, it's that thing of like, just it's kind of like we get to that point often when we have to then remember to surrender. If we don't surrender, how are we supposed to receive divine support? If we don't surrender, how can we receive divine higher guidance? So it's kind of that, it's kind of thinking about how do we see ourselves in the world? How do we perceive ourselves? And are we actually receiving as much divine support and divine guidance as we possibly can? So that's a really beautiful energy, a really inspiring energy for things to be moving forward, for us to have this fresh perspective of things, to have this new, innovative, inspired way of stepping into another chapter of your life. I don't know where you're all at, but it does feel like there's a lot of things that are coming in that can be starting fresh and new. There's a lot of things that are really demanding to be purged and let go of. It is what it is, so let's see where we are now. Okay, so as we got gratitude, as we spoke about, devotion, assertiveness. So it does feel like that assertive gentleness. It's a very gentle assertion. Like, so when the sunflower is facing it's the head to the sunshine, towards the sun, it's not doing it in an aggressive way. You don't hear it moving towards the sun. You don't essentially feel it on some level, but you do notice, unless you had some like time to actually watch it moving. But you do know that, like, if you've seen it at one part of the day, one time of the day, and then you come back to it, it may have moved, but it doesn't make a fuss and dance about, look, I'm moving towards the sun. It just does it. And I feel like that would be really beneficial now, to utilise the energies, because it's not about seeking acceptance. It's not about seeking approval from others. It's literally about, in your heart, in your mind, that level of devotion required means you are so engrossed in what you're doing, you're so enthralled in what you're doing, that you're just moving forward without having to take notice of what others are doing. It doesn't mean that you're ignoring others who are involved in the same thing as you and being self-absorbed. It literally means the concentration level now is going to be increased. The concentration on what is for your higher good, the concentration of gratitude of what is working, the concentration of having the divine support, the divine guidance, the divine protection to bring you away out of possibly not safe situations into safer situations. So seeing where the benefit is of the root chakra tuning fork today. Again, not attaching to it, simply allowing it to support us. So, for example, I know I keep bringing this point up a lot, but I think it's not something that's just easily done sometimes. So sometimes we can get stuck on things, if we can get into certain patterns. It's getting that fine balance of having a routine that is worth your while and healthy, but not to get stuck in certain things. If it doesn't go to plan, that it creates disruption, it creates chaos in the mind or the heart. So it's being flexible and adaptable. I think that's really important, especially with all the changes that are coming on your foundation. So your foundation is so solid, so inspired, and so like concrete, so to speak, that you feel safe enough for that to be like your platform from where you function, from where you operate. So the root, bringing in healthy root, making sure that your root is substantially where it is because of your doing, because of your choice, because of your intentions. So your root being safe, secure, because you have chosen to have your root in a particular way, in a particular space. What I mean by that is, when we are being influenced by others, they may say, well, you shouldn't be doing that because it's not a safe job, it's not this, it's not a prosperous career, or it's not doesn't seem very liable to me. You're not going to be able to make a career out of it. I don't know why I keep saying career, maybe because it's coming out of Capricorn, but there's certain things that are being questioned, or just those comments that kind of burrowed in somehow and like kind of took hold in the consciousness or subconsciousness, letting those come out and kind of letting them weevil out, kind of thing. I don't want them sticking around. So being more cautious of what words you allow to burrow themselves in and take hold, and allowing yourself to be more fluid, allowing yourself to be more detached in a healthy way. So not attached, healthy non-attachment, basically. Supported. So you got the Eight of Cups. There you go again, with the same kind of message of there's certain things we're going to have to let go of, there's certain things that need to move. I'm just going to put that there while we're looking at it. Certain things that we need to move, certain things we need to shift, certain things that need to be addressed in a particular way. So as I put that there, it actually feels more fitting, because it feels like there's a step going on, and you keep moving up and up the step into a new direction, into a different phase. Again, noticing the sunflower and its head being turned towards the sun, its head being turned towards something that's nutritious, nourishing and beneficial for the self. Right, Page of Serpents, Page of Coins. Why does that feel so heavy? Let's have a look. It's the fear surrounding it. Okay, this has just fell out and got stuck, and it took me a while to get it out. So the Chariot, moving on away from things and moving on away from things. A different sentiment of moving on, but still the same kind of thing of moving on, making that movement, making that space. So it's very definite feeling of this is moving away from something. This is then moving towards something that's actually worth your while. is worth putting that time, energy and effort into. So now, next lot of cards. It definitely has a different vibe. It's lighter, it's more attentive to detail, but not getting stuck in the detail. It's being fluid, it's being adaptable. Like assertiveness is feeling more happy-go-lucky. It's feeling very going to take a chance on this, because you know you've got a certain particular kind of foundation, that on that foundation you've got enough leeway to pivot. You've got enough leeway to be a little bit risky, but not detrimental to yourself, and not detrimental to anything else that you've been working so hard on. It's taking those small chances that you don't know where they're going to go to, but you definitely know that you've got everything at hand that allows you to take this chance. It allows you to be a little bit risky, should we say, but not putting anything at risk at the same time. So I'm really sorry about the light. Let's turn this one off. I've got so many on. I'm just trying to play with different angles and stuff. Right, so this one, definitely feeling great with this combination of the wands, and then you got the 10 of cups. So the foundation definitely being worked on. The foundation definitely, it feels like you've been working on something, and then you've come away from it, and then when you come back, and then the level of progress has seemed quite fast. It seemed quite prominent that it's improved significantly. So that's a great space to be in, because the progress may not have felt as strong before, or it may have felt like there was certain things that were not progressing the way you needed them to or wanted them to. So now there's actually more and more evidence coming in of you going in the correct direction. Keep going. Those little tiny calculated planned pivots, adjustments, aka risks, are paying off. But the thing is to make sure that you're doing that assessment. We talked about it a few readings ago, doing that step by step by step, and assessing as you go along, going through it, going along it with a stepping stone kind of pace, rather than just leaping into something. Making sure that, does this make sense still? And even if it doesn't make sense, what parts make sense, what parts don't make sense. The parts that don't make sense may be simply because you don't know what's going to happen. The parts that make sense is like, right, I have this here, I have this here, put them together, I can create this. Does it make sense? Is it going to be supportive to where I'm heading? Is it going to be supportive to what I want to achieve? Making sure that it makes sense for you and to you. So then we've got the coins, stacking up the coins. The 4 of coins here, really looking into what do you have, what do you have what's working to your benefit, what do you have that's making you feel substantially richer and more empowered with where you're going, more empowered in how you're getting there. So yes, you've had a lot of steps to get to this point, but this coin being above this fire here, it feels as though there's some things that have had to be let go of. There's some things that have had to be released to be able to let this coin come in and settle down. So for example, if you have a certain thing to do, for example, if you're having a house clearance, or you should be doing a house clearance, or you're doing certain things, if you don't you move them into boxes, but then you don't move the boxes out, you're still stuck in that situation of having all that excess stuff that you don't need and won't need. So this is kind of like all those things you're shedding and purging, having to go. They have to make space for this coin to come in. It's got one eye here, and then assuming another eye there. So this has to have space for it to come in. So allowing that purging process to happen with ease, letting it happen with as much gratitude for the opportunity to do this as possible. And that feels and felt really strong to say. Gratitude of having opportunities to choose. Embrace the gratitude of having opportunities to choose. Because you may not have felt like you could before. If you're still stuck in feelings of like, I don't feel like I can choose, I don't feel like I have a choice, it's incorrect. And I'm saying that with also wanting to say, I don't know your situation. This is a general reading, but, and I don't say but unless I have to say but. So I've been saying but a lot lately, which is not really where I want to go, but there you go. But that's where it is. This here feels like your assessment of things. If you're still holding on to, I don't have a choice, recalibrate your thinking. You've got Mercury in Capricorn, you've got Mars in Capricorn in the first decan. Mars is heading towards the second decan, or it might be in the second decan now. So that process of shifting and changing things in the hierarchical thing, in the structure of things, have a think about it again. Don't have a choice. You may actually have a choice that you haven't thought of yet, and this is why it's important to have the gratitude of knowing where your foundation actually is solid, where you know that your roots, where your foundation is supporting you and providing you with a certain level of ability to think things through, assess things, analyze things, not to attach, like I used to be attached to that outcome. Don't need to be attached to that outcome anymore, because I know I've got some freedom here, I've got some security here, therefore I can allow and let it to kind of flow a bit to show me another solution that I haven't considered yet, or a solution but just doing it in a different way. Maybe I need to do step 3 before step 2. It's all being creative and making sure that you're allowing certain things to take shape the way they need to take shape. 3 of Cups. I know you can't see it properly right now, sorry. Is that 3 of Cups? Sorry, playing with the lights as well. 3 of Cups. All those cups. So from here, get those cups, stack them up. Let's start thinking of what we can put in those cups now. You've got 2 there, 3 here. Clean them off. Cleanse, purify, reuse. Reinstate their purpose. Reinstate how you're going to use them. They're no longer sitting there just like crying and sobbing over them. Let's move on from that. That's what it's coming up as. So I'm going to get one more for over here. Even though we can't see it, I'll show you. There we go. Let go of that. So that cup was over there, coming over here. Got to have a new perspective of that. Also, that means wounds from that. Really just have another look at it. Have a look at it. Pick up your cups. What do you want to fill them up with now? So with that, I'm going to say this was a general reading. Remember that. If you'd like a personal reading, it's 108gate@gmail.com. And so now I'm going to close off with 3 of these Root Chakra Tuning Fork for you. So let's go. Enjoy. Peace and love.